Welcome to Storytime. Today's featured title is The Tortoise and the Hare. Once upon a time, there was a hare named Harold. Hey Harold. Harold was very fast, and he made sure that all the other forest creatures knew it. He had lots of fun running past skunks and leaping over squirrels. But most of all, Harold loved to race. Listen up. I'm the fastest animal in the whole forest, Harold told a group of critters. I'm even faster than the wind. Not one of you, and I mean not one of you, could beat me in a race. The other animals were tired of hearing Harold brag, but they were all too polite to interrupt him. All except a tortoise named Tom, that is. I wonder what Tom has to say about Harold being so fast.
Oh, hogwash, Tom cried. You may be fast, but you can certainly be beaten in a race. Harold laughed and laughed. He couldn't believe that one of the slowest animals he'd ever met was saying this. Not a single creature has ever beaten me in a race, Harold replied. But you're welcome to try. I accept your challenge, Tom said, and I'll race you. Harold laughed. And the other creatures started to snicker. It would be a piece of cake for Harold to beat a tortoise. We'll race next Saturday, Harold said. That should give you plenty of time to practice. It seems like the hare thinks this is going to be a piece of cake. Tom the tortoise spent the next few days getting ready for the race. He stretched his legs, jogged around the little pond, do. He ate lots of dandelions and berries to build up his energy. Hoo ha, hoo ha, hoo ha. Meanwhile, Harold was so sure he'd win the race that he didn't bother practicing at all. He laid in the sunshine, took lots of naps, and chatted with his friends. I got this race in the bag. On the day of the race, the forest critters gathered at the starting line. What do you think is going to win? I don't know. Let's see. Even though they didn't really think Tom would win, they were excited to see him try. I don't know. Maybe Tom is going to win. Let's see. May the best animal win, Tom said kindly. Good luck, Harold replied. You're going to need it. On your marks, said the referee. Get set, go! Harold took off so quickly that a big gust of wind blew Tom around until he was facing backward. Uh-oh, the crowd cheered. Go, 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 go! What an exciting start! By the time Tom was facing the right direction, Harold the hare was long gone. Tom set off down the path at a very slow and steady pace. Doom, 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 doom. A group of snails cheered excitedly. Come on, Tom! You can do it! Come on, Tom! You can do it! The snails yelled. Oh, how sweet. Tom finally reached that first bend in the path. Harold was nowhere to be seen, but Tom wasn't worried. He put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and continued down the racetrack. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I wonder where that hare is. Far down the path, Harold was running so fast that the petals blew off the flowers he passed. I can't believe that silly tortoise thought he could beat me, Harold thought smugly. I'm definitely going to win this race. Harold, Harold suddenly skidded to a stop. His friend George was lying under a shady tree, so Harold stopped to chat.
Hello, Harold.
George said.
Why are you such in a hurry?
Oh, I was just running a race, Harold replied. But it won't be too hard to win, since I'm racing Tom. This is gonna be easy peasy. As Harold and George laughed and laughed at the idea of a tortoise racing a hare, Tom, oh my goodness, it's Tom. Tom crept past them quietly. The silly hares were so busy chatting. Yeah, I can't believe he's actually trying to race me. I can't believe it. That they didn't even notice him. Oh wow, this race is getting interesting. Let's keep watching to see what happens next. Just as Tom thought he was safely past them, Harold laughed. Look at that tortoise go, Harold said to George. He really thinks he's gonna beat me.
Go get him. Go get him, Harold,
George said. Harold rushed past Tom, and the tortoise was blown over. Oh no, not again. When he looked up, he saw Harold disappearing down the path. That pesky hare had passed him again. Tom stood up and dusted himself off. He took a step and then another. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and continued on his way. Harold was having lots and lots of fun racing Tom. The tortoise was far, far, far behind him. And Harold was certain he would win. Harold did a somersault, boo-boo, and then a cartwheel, doo-doo-doo, and sure liked to show off. Oh, up ahead, a crowd of animals were waiting at the finish line. As Harold neared the finish line, he heard the animals cheering. Go, go, go! You're gonna win! You're gonna win! Go, go, go! He slowed down his trot. What's the hurry? Tom thought to himself. That tortoise is so far behind, he'll never catch up. Sure that he would win, Harold decided to stop and rest for a while. He hopped off the path and into the meadow beside it. I'll sure take a quick nap, he thought to himself. There's plenty of time to relax. With that, Harold laid down in the soft green grass and he fell asleep. Totally gonna win. When Tom finally reached the sleeping hare, he wondered why Harold was napping. That's no way to win a race. Tom tiptoed past him very carefully and very quietly. Tiptoe, tiptoe. Harold snorted, but he didn't wake up. The crowd at the finish line started yelling and clapping when they saw Tom. Whoa! This is totally an interesting race. Even though some of them had doubted him, it looked like the tortoise was going to win the race. Tom, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. Tom, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. The crowd cheered. I don't know, guys. I think he's gonna win. The crowd cheered and cheered so loudly that they woke up Harold. He looked around and he was surprised to see Tom nearing the finish line. The hare laughed to himself as he hopped to his feet. That silly tortoise still thought he'd win the race. Harold sped off down the track, sure that he would catch up to Tom. But he had an awful long way to go. Harold suddenly felt very worried. He really shouldn't have stopped to chat with George or to nap. What a waste of time! Oh no! Come on, Tom, come on! Come on, Tom, come on! The crowd cheered. "You're almost there! You're almost there!" Tom stretched out his long neck and poked his head over the finish line just as Harold caught up to him. Tom had won the race! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! That was a great race, Tom said to the hare. "No hard feelings?" You beat me fair and square," Harold admitted. "I may be fast, but I'm not always very wise. Slow and steady beats the hurried and careless." From that day forward, Harold worked hard at everything he did. The tortoise and the hare became great friends and lived happily ever after. The end. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!